can get any interceptions, I'd be the happiest guy in the world. But in order to go 12-0, I think I'm going to have to get at least a few.
No need to worry. The interception is Tom Rotello's trademark. While DeJuan and Scott Thomas were getting all the headlines last year, Tommy quietly led the team with 8 interceptions, or Oskies, as the Falcons like to call them, and that was the 4th highest total in the nation. He also made a spectacular interception against Texas in the Bluebonnet Bowl. He tells me he's a crafty player. Maybe he doesn't have the best physical tools, but he's loaded with confidence.
If you don't have confidence, you start guessing as to what the offense is doing. You start second-guessing yourself, and you just can't do that.
A 5'11", 179-pound senior, Rotello comes to the academy from Mapleton High School in Denver, not far from home or the home fans.
It's great. As a matter of fact, this week I have to buy about 70 tickets, you know, including the couple I get free, so it's great being this close to home. You know, a lot of people come down and watch, and you get a lot of support around here, so that's a good feeling.
And from a fan's point of view, it will be a great feeling just watching Tommy Rotello pick off more opponents' passes this year. For Air Force Football 86, I'm Lee Douglas.
Tom Rotello, and Coach, we're going to come back and take a look at the UTEP Miners who got off to a good start this weekend. We'll have that when we come right back. It just happens to be the team that you're going to face this coming Saturday night down in El Paso.
And boy, what a start they had. They scored about 64 points. And, you know, I've always said that UTEP is one of the talented teams in our football league. And I really believe it's going to be a tough assignment to go down there and play. And I know winning their opening game will really be a great incentive for them. Well, we've got some highlights of their game last year. Of course, you opened up with them. And they've got some people coming back. You're going to believe they're going to be fired up getting off to a 1-0 start. Well, you better believe John Harvey, I think, is one of the better runners in our league. And, you know, this little guy right here, Murray, I'm telling you the truth, he is a competitor. And, you know, they have a fine offensive line. And one of the pro scouts was by to see us the other day and said that their offensive center, he thinks, is one of the class players in the western part of the United States. And, of course, Sammy Garza, who played extremely well last night and Saturday night. And, of course, Harvey, you know, is, again, you know, one of the better runners. And, you know, they scared me to death coming in last year. They were just like sleeping giants, just waiting to be woke up. And I hope we don't wake them up this Saturday night. Of course, they woke up BYU last year, Coach, so you're going to have to be ready. Oh, you better believe it. And, you know, Texas El Paso is not the easiest place in the world to go play football. And it's going to be a little change in environment for us also. Well, again, congratulations, Coach, 24-17. We look forward to seeing all the highlights. And be sure and join us next Monday night, same place, same station, right here at 6:30. So for Coach Fisher Deberry, this is John Eves saying good night, everybody.
Air Force Football 1986 with head coach Fisher Deberry. Sponsored by the First National Bank, McDonald's, USAA Insurance, and True Value Hardware. TV 13, the leader in sports television, presents Air Force Football 1986 with head coach Fisher Deberry. Sponsored by the First National Bank, McDonald's, USAA Insurance, and True Value Hardware. Now your host, John Eves.
And good evening and welcome to our show. And Coach, maybe we ought to nickname your team or rename your team the Cardiac Kids. The folks at the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas Saturday night definitely got their money's worth.
Well, there's no question about it, John. That was the biggest crowd they've ever had for a UTEP football game, and I thought that was a tremendous compliment to our young men. But, yeah, you're exactly right. I think we could appropriately name them Cardiac Kids. But I'm so proud of our football team, John, to have come back now from being down, you know, in the last few minutes of the game the past 2 weeks. And just, I'm so proud of them, and it just shows you, again, the type of character that we've got on our football team. And, you know, these guys have just got a never quit, never give up attitude. And, you know, I think we've grown a lot and matured a lot as a football team as a result of these two games.
All right, Coach, we've got all kinds of highlights, first and second half. We'll get to those right after this. team you've seen while you've been at the academy.
You better believe it, John. And, you know, I went over after the game and just told them that don't lose heart because, by goodness, they have got to be the most improved football team in America. And they're going to win a lot of football games this year. And what a great job Bob Stoll and his staff have done.
All right, let's go to the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. Coach, it really is a beautiful stadium.
Boy, it really is, John, and what a beautiful night. Praise the Lord for that. And, you know, it had a great crowd, as we said earlier, biggest crowd they've had for a UTEP game. And Tommy Rotello and Steve Sigler and Steve Hendrickson were our captains for the ball game. We were fortunate to win the toss, and, of course, there was a little bit of wind in the stadium, so we elected to defer our option to the second half, meaning that we probably figured they would take the ball as they did, and we wanted to kick off. And, you know, we hoped that we could hold them down there because their punter had not kicked in a game prior to this game.
Here's Parker, really a pretty good return, about 22 yards up to about the 25.
Good return. Great hit there by Mike Gann and Kevin Falcon. I thought the special teams did a great job. And, of course, you know, their short pass control game there to their tight end, Kelsey, you know, kept us off balance all night long. There's Pat Evans, and, boy, what a great game Pat had. Another 100-yard performance, and he got some tough yards, John, and we're feeling each other out there. And to be honest with you, they stopped us in that first drive, and we had gotten it fell out what they were doing, you know, and we got our team over there in the first play. Kevin came up with his first interception here at the academy, and we weren't able really to get the word to our offense like we wanted to, but we weren't able to get in the end zone, and that's something we've got to work in, John. Whenever we get close down there, we've got to put that ball in the end zone. We're thankful Mike came through there with a 22-yard field goal for us.
All right, here they go. And you said Harvey, you told me after the game, could play anywhere, Coach.
There's no question in my mind, Johnny. He's one of the premier running backs in our conference. The guy, you know, didn't play in 4 games last year and gained 800 yards, and he's going to really be a guy to reckon with in our conference. And what a great individual effort on his part there. It's really questionable whether he got across there or not. But, you know, that put him up early in the game.
All right, they're up 7-3 right now. And here we go with a kickoff, Coach.
Well, boy, I tell you one thing, Jackie, their kicker, you know, is a fine kicker, and they changed the kickoff coverage a little bit, and this is Anthony Robeson bringing it out for a 24-yard gain and got us in good field position.